So, Pythagoras theorem is a little theorem that you can use to calculate the missing length of a right angle triangle. If you have a right angle triangle and you have two of the lengths, the remaining one you can work out using this formula. You can get A and B the other way around. Doesn't matter if that's B and that's A, but the C must always be the longest side, which is opposite the right angle, and also it can be called the hypotenuse. So C is always the hypotenuse. So that can be shown if we have. Let's imagine we write the equation out. A squared is plus B squared is equal to C squared. Well, it's equal to C squared. So if I said, well, what's A squared equal to? To rearrange it, I would just subtract B squared from both sides, and I've got C squared minus B squared. Now, if I want B squared on its own, then I would subtract, starting with the top equation. Let's move that. Oops. Do that again. So if I start with this equation here, now I want B squared on its... hang on a second. Press the wrong button. If I want B squared on its own, then that's this time what I would do is subtract A squared from both sides. I've got C squared minus A squared. So you can see by looking at these two equations here that if I swapped the A and the B around, they'd be identical. But I can't get C the wrong place because otherwise the plus turns into a minus. So then what you can do is you can get a right angle triangle, and if you know this is a classic right angle triangle 3, 4, 5. If you know the values of the other two of one of the other two sides, you can find out the remaining one. You don't have to just do it for the hypotenuse. You can do it for any. So if I didn't know the 4 and I knew the 3 and the 5, I could work out that using one of these two formulae. And the only other thing to think about is that if we just found out that C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, which is equal to 169, that therefore C squared is equal to 169. What is C? You worked out it to be, by the process of elimination, to be 13. But what you want to actually do, because sometimes it's not going to be a whole number, is that C is going to equal to the square root of 169, which is something you can do on your calculator. And that is, so that is actually 13 in that case. But if it was an awkward number, like if it turns out that, so I'll just draw a very basic one here. Let's say that was, I'm going to change it this time. Let's say that is 3 and that is 2. Well, what's this going to be? This is the either A or B. Let's just call it A. We know that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. By subtracting B from both sides, then A squared is equal to C squared minus B squared. And that's equal to 3 squared minus 2 squared, which is equal to 9 minus 4, which is equal to 5. So A is going to be, first of all, A squared is going to equal to 5, and therefore A is going to equal to the square root of 5. And we type that into your calculator, you'll get a long irrational number. Okay? So